Simon Cowell.
And I move that the question be now put.
No. I call the honourable member Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'm sorry for the member Jacinda Ardern to be interrupted in the midst of her explanation of American studies, but she did ask me a question when she first got up, and I do think it's a good question and one that I'm very happy to answer. The definition of humanities that appears in the original draft of the bill was one provided by the Royal Society and the Council of Humanities. Its exact origin is something I've been searching for, and I haven't in fact been exactly able to identify that. But what I have been able to identify is that the selection of subjects there does relate to the activities of the Council for Humanities. So it was never meant to be an exclusive list. And obviously members will note that it begins, subclause 2 begins by saying humanities includes languages and so on. And it was never meant to be an exclusive list. It was more that those subjects represented the areas that the Council for Humanities, Te Whāinga Aranui, has as its work areas in focus. But they were very relaxed, as were the Royal Society, about the supplementary order paper that Te Ururoa Flavel has put forward. The committee itself made the decision that highlighting American studies in that way didn't really seem to reflect the broad nature of the work that the Royal Society undertakes. And so I was very happy to... Yeah, absolutely, and I think the member asks, can they operate outside the definition? And the answer to that question is yes, they can, because that is the great beauty of the humanities. Those of us who've studied in the humanities know that it's not a definition or a broad groupings of subject that's in any way restrictive. But so, Mr. Chair, I think it's just important to clarify that the Royal Society and the Council for Humanities are both comfortable with where we are reaching with this definition, and I do hope the National Party will support the supplementary order paper that is into Ururoa Flavel's name, because I agree with both Rahui Kātene and Marion Street earlier in their speeches that actually this really does New Zealandise, Aotearoaise this particular part of the legislation. It's very consistent, I might say, with the Council for Humanities approach. Te Whāinga Aranui is a very inclusive organisation that thinks a lot about its responsibilities under the treaty and its responsibilities to developing a New Zealand, an indigenous form of humanities. So there is no surprise that they are very comfortable with the idea of this definition. One other matter that was raised by a speaker the last time we were here was the question of the role of the social sciences, and I do just want to clarify that in the current Act, science and technology includes the applied, biological, earth, engineering, information, mathematical, medical, physical, social and technological sciences. So the current definition does include the notion of social sciences as well as broader sciences.
I'm sorry to interrupt the honourable member. Honourable members, the time has come for me to leave the chair and the committee for the evening dinner break. This sitting is suspended and I shall resume the chair at 7:30 p.m. this evening. Haere rā.